Hey everybody, hunter, fisher, trapper, trader, guide, scout, and interpreter, and just a country cook, Steve Hall, here in Nashville, Tennessee, along with pretty Miss Sheila, always doing a great job on that camera. Hi, Sheila.
Hi.
Oh man, you look so pretty today, and look what I got. I got a little baby watermelon here. You know why? Because one of the #1 things that people watch on our channel is pickled stuff, pickled fish, pickled shrimp, pickled vegetables. We got all pickled chicken gizzards. How about pickled watermelon rind? Man, it's going to be so delicious, and all you pickling crazies out there that love that kind of stuff, come on over, let's get started. You're going to love this recipe. Well, all right, let's have a little fun here. First thing I like to do is chop the ends off of any watermelon so I can stand it up on end and have a nice flat surface to work with. So we'll move these little scooters out of the way here. Stand it up like this, and we're just going to cut it in wedges. This is how I cut up watermelon for me and Sheila, because it's so easy to do this. And I got thinking, man, every time we're doing this, we're just throwing the rinds away. Not anymore. We're going to pickle them. Easy now. Don't go running off on me now. And the last one, bingo. Then what I do, I don't know if you can see that in the front. What I do is I normally make some little cuts like this here. And then I cut it, and we got nice little diced stuff. But you see that little bit of 1/4 inch left? We want to leave just that much on the rind. So I'm going to make my little cuts here. This is the only time I cut towards my hand because the rind stops it. I just don't go that deep. Just leave a little bit of redness on there. That's what you want. Let me get the rest of these cut up here. I can always cut it by the board there too to be safe. And this is what I bring into Sheila with a little sprinkle of salt on there and a couple of toothpicks, and she loves that.
So good.
All right, well thank you, babe. Let's get to the next step. And I'm going to finish chopping these up. And then you got nice watermelon. Probably, can you see that over to the side, or is that out of frame, Sheila?
It's in the frame.
Okay. All right, we'll be back in a second. We'll show you the next step. And look what I ended up with. This is Sheila's bowl, and this is mine. Like I said, she loves watermelon.
And you're not lying.
I ain't kidding either, am I, Sheila?
Nope.
Look at the back side of these. Look what I've been doing. Just like peeling a cucumber, you want to peel the back side of these little strips. Instead of peeling the whole outside of the watermelon, I kind of like to do it like this so I can kind of get a hold of it and cut each little strip. I know I'm probably just making a mess here, but let me get these all peeled, and I'll be back to show you the next step here. How am I doing, Sheila? All right?
You're right.
Doing good, ain't I? All right. All right, I'm working on the last one. And now, I'm going to clean this all up and show you the next step. You know, I've been having so much fun over here that I forgot to have Sheila turn the camera back on, and she's been busy over here. Look at her bowl. It's almost as level as mine now because she's been eating that watermelon. I told you. And here's what I'm doing with these rinds. I saved the last couple to put on camera, and this one little teeny melon is going to make 2 perfect quart jars. I'm cutting these strips about a 1/2 inch thick. Then I'm turning them sideways and giving them another cut this way so that I've got just perfect little 1/2 inch cubes. And remember, just leave a little bit of that red rind, or a little bit of that red watermelon on the green rind. Look at there, look at there. I'm not sure if I can get the last one in there or not. We'll have to see. I don't want to fill it too full because I want to leave enough room for the brine to get in there. Don't haul these watermelon rinds to the garbage anymore when you can cube them up real small and pickle them. And all you pickling people out there that love to pickle stuff, I'll bet your mouth is just watering thinking about doing a batch of this. I think this is pretty close. Like I said, I really don't want to fill it that full. I want to leave about a good inch headspace. So I'm going to, believe it or not, I'm going to throw these little guys away because this is going to get that spicy, sweet brine in there. It's a little different than the one we use for shrimp and for fish and all that stuff. And let's get started on it right now. Well, hold on a second. I have to do an edit right here because Sheila won't let me throw these away. She went over and got me this little baby jar. And I'll bet there was a bunch of people out there saying, well, put them in a little teeny baby jar. And thank you, Sheila.
You're welcome.
Look at that. This will be your little batch right here. Because I know you love watermelon. And to have pickled watermelon rind is going to be awesome. Now that we got the little baby Sheila cup full of rinds and didn't throw them in the garbage, let's get making our brine that we're going to put in here. All right, the first three things I'm going to put in here are easy to remember because it's 1 1/2, 1 1/2, and 1 1/2. 1 1/2 cups of water, 1 1/2 cups of apple cider vinegar, and 1 1/2 cups of sugar. I'm going to stir this so the sugar starts to dissolve in here, and this should be enough to do 2 quarts of these watermelon rinds that we're going to pickle up. I love pickling stuff, and what a neat recipe. Let me get this dissolved. All right, the sugar's getting dissolved in here. We're going to put in 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. These are going to look good floating around in there because we're going to make a kind of a sweet and spicy pickled watermelon. We're going to put in 1 teaspoon of black peppercorns. They're going to look good in there flying around with that fly that just went. Did you see him go by, Sheila?
I did. He came over here.
Did he come over there? All right, next time he's going in the brine and he'll just have to swim and do the backstroke. Now this seems like a lot of salt, but I'm making a double batch, and the original batch for 1 quart calls for 2 tablespoons of kosher salt. So I'm doing it for 2 quarts, but I'm only putting 3 in, so I'm actually backing the salt down a little bit. So 3 tablespoons of kosher salt, and let me get all these ingredients dissolved. Well, thanks for the close-up, Sheila.
You're welcome.
Does it look good in there?
It does.
And it smells fantastic. I'm sorry, but I love to pickle stuff, and I love to make the brine because, man, when that comes up out of there, it almost stops your breath sometimes. It's so sweet, spicy, got that vinegar and sugar, and oh, man, just wonderful. Let me bring this to a boil, and we're just going to simmer it for about a minute, and then we're going to cool it down a little bit before we pour it in here. We are going to pour it over the top of our watermelon cubes while it's still a little bit warm, but not hot, hot. So let me bring this to a boil, and I'll see you in a second. Well, let's take a peek. Oh, yeah. Just roll and boil just nice. I only covered that up for just about a minute. They say a watched pot never boils. So with the lid on, we weren't watching, were we, Sheila?
Nope.
So it took right off on us. So I'm just going to leave it on high and let it go ahead and keep trying to come to a boil. Then I'm going to stir it about every 10 seconds or so, just for about a minute. I'm going to try something else here too in just a second. We'll see in about a minute, and then we're done cooking this because our sugar is definitely dissolved at this point. And that's the main reason I was bringing it to a boil. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. All right, I got it off the burner sitting on this little porcelain plate here, and you know how impatient I am. And I got thinking what I'm going to do next time is I'm only going to put in 1 cup of water, 1 1/2 cups of sugar, 1 1/2 cups of apple cider vinegar. Then when I want it to cool down, I need that other 1/2 cup of water. After I've dissolved all the sugar and everything, I'm going to throw in about 1/2 cup of ice cubes. Then it'll get it down to the temperature I need to pour it in here, and I don't have to wait because you know how impatient I am. Now, even though it's adding a little bit more water to the equation here, that's all right. It sure disappeared in a hurry. But that helps cool it off a little bit. And that's what I'm going to do next time. I'm going to take and I think it might actually take like a full cup of ice to make 1/2 cup of water. So you might want to put 1 cup of water, 1.5 cups of apple cider vinegar, and 1.5 cups of sugar. And Sheila's looking at me like I'm some sort of mathematician or something. Then I'm going to put in, after I dissolve it and boil it, then I'm going to put in 1 cup of ice and cool it right down.
I agree with everything you're saying.
You're so sweet. All right, I'm going to transfer that to my favorite little plastic tub over here. So I'll let it cool just for a couple more minutes, and we'll get it in here, and we'll see if we can't start the process of putting these babies in the refrigerator for a minimum of 1 day, but usually about 4 days before they really get right with the world. But you'll be nibbling at a day, I just know you will. All right, we'll see you in a second. As soon as this cools off a little bit more. I got it transferred over to my favorite little pouring picture here. Let me taste it. Pretty sassy, pretty good. And believe it or not, this recipe calls for apple cider vinegar. I like white vinegar too. You can use either one that you want. But let's see if we made enough brine. There's that one. Oh, looking pretty good. I don't know if there's going to be enough for Sheila's little baby one or not. Probably not. I'll bet we're going to have to skip. Oh, wait a minute. We might have we might have just enough.
Now look how cute that is.
Isn't that something? And it just turned out perfect. We get a few of these peppercorns that sunk to the bottom. Let me put a few in Sheila's over here. I'm probably blocking the shot, but there we go. Look at that. Did that work out perfect for those measurements? Let me see this. As long as that ain't too warm, it's not. Of course, you always sterilize your jars first. And we're not going to can these. This is going in the refrigerator, and you want to eat this up in within, I would say, 2 to 3 weeks at the most. But it's really good after about 4 days. And you know my little technique. I snug them up pretty good, and then I turn them upside down in the refrigerator so the tops always get pickled first. That way you don't open the jar and there's some sticking out that didn't get any juice on. Look at little Sheila's even went upside down. What do you think, Sheila?
It looks really good.
It does look pretty good, doesn't it? I know you love watermelon. We ended up with 2 bowls of watermelon. Look at hers. God, yours is even less than mine is. Now, you've been in here again, haven't you?
I have.
So here's what you do. Don't throw your rinds away. Try this recipe. Obviously, our video is not over. We're going to have to wait 4 days, and then we're going to sample it for you. But we'll see you in 4 days back here with our pickled watermelon rinds. Are you ready, Sheila?
I'm ready.
All right, let's pop these in the refrigerator and get this process started. See you folks in 4 days. Bye-bye for now. Man, it's been a long 4 days waiting for this recipe to get right.
It's only been 2 days.
Okay, it's been a long 2 days waiting for this. She rats on me all the time. You know, I've learned something. I love to take Sheila fishing with me, but never tell fishing stories when she's standing next to me, because we'll be in a group of people and I'll say, man, we were on Percy Priest the other day. We caught like 10 great big slab crappies. She'll say, we only caught 5 right in front of everybody. So yes, it's only been a long 2 days. That's because I was nibbling on them yesterday and they were already delicious. Come on over here and check out our pickled watermelon rind. They're great. Now remember, I stored these upside down in the refrigerator so the tops would get pickled up real good. And I gotta tell you, I've been sneaking in here already. Let me move Sheila's little baby jar over here out of the way. And I'm telling you something, I love these pickled watermelon rinds. You've got to give this a try. And now that they're chilled, they're really, really good. Hold on a second. You can just use your fingers. You don't need a fork. Can you hear that crunch? That is so yummy. They're just delicious.
It seems like a summertime recipe.
Try one of these. It is summertime because
I know it. Watermelon.
watermelons are in season. Don't send the kids out on the back porch with a whole watermelon rind. Just cut off the watermelon, cube it up, send them out, and keep the rind in the house. It's sweet, just a touch spicy, but not spicy at all. If that makes any sense. Sheila will get her little specialty one right here. What do you think, Sheila?
Tastes really good.
Aren't they yummy, little rascals? Give them a try. You're going to love this recipe. You know, as much as I love pickled fish and pickled shrimp and pickled hot dogs and all the other stuff on our channel, this is undoubtedly my new favorite pickled recipe. You got to try it. They're so yummy. Cold out of the refrigerator. I've been snacking for the last 2 days, not the last 4 days. In fact, I started day number 1. I was already in there. They were so good. Turn them upside down so the tops get pickled first, and you can even dish them up in a little bowl like this and serve them to your guests if there's any left out of your refrigerator when you're done snacking. And look, I even made a little baby jar for Sheila. I didn't throw them away. I made it for you.
Oh, no, it's cute. I love it.
She always says everything is cute.
It is.
You know, I think if you take that word out of women's vocabulary, they wouldn't be able to talk. These shoes are so cute. What do you think of this outfit? Oh, that's so cute. It's cute. Sheila's cute. This recipe is cute. We hope you enjoy this recipe, and we really hope you subscribe to our channel. That's easy. Little Shotgun Red's face will pop up over here in a little bit. When you click on it, it'll say subscribe. Then you're subscribed. Next to it will be a little notification bell. If you click that little bell, then YouTube will send you every single one of our recipes or a notification that we posted one as soon as it comes out. We hope you do that. I'm getting ready to take another bite of this. Over here, we'll put a little playlist that you can check out with some other great recipes. And is this the most delicious pickled recipe, and especially pickled watermelon rind you ever ate? If it ain't, it ought to be. And remember one thing, the recipe is always right underneath the video. You never have to go to our website. But Sheila always says, I hope they go check out shotgunred.com. Then they can find out that we're coming out with our fish breading. We got the world famous Shotgun Red dolls there. And of course some DVDs of our live show. But you don't have to go there to get the recipe. It's right underneath this. What do you think, Sheila? Did you have a good time?
I did.
I did too, and I made a special little jar just for her. And now that I'm done talking, I can go back to snacking. We'll see you next time right here on Cooking with Shotgun Red. Did I say if it ain't, it ought to be? I can't remember, but if it ain't,
I don't know.
it ought to be. Is this the best? If it ain't, it ought to be. It is. You must be able to hear me crunching in that microphone.
It is the best.
These are just spectacular. I know your mouth is watering, all you pickling fanatics out there. Make a batch of this. It's going to knock you out. We'll see you next time. Crunchity crunch crunch.